Hello, hello. This is. This is. Yeah. Oof. Oof. All right. Yeah. All right. This is Munchies with Max. What do we got going on here? Let me see. Oh, did you unmute me?
Yes, I did. You're good to go.
No, but I got a little.
Try it now.
Yeah. Now we're
better.
Good. Yeah, now we're good.
All right.
Yeah. So I was been a tough week. Tough week. It's Monday, but that trailed off from last week. So we are Munchies with Max. I am Coach Max, Hermit Coach Maximilian Mormont. We are Max Fit USA, CrossFit Costa Mesa. And I got my boy Mikey Wins on the ones and twos. My favorite co-host and my
shadow
nightly. I don't know why you keep saying the shadow person. This is like a newsroom with two individual journalists giving their information in regards to fitness at their local gym and as well as on their online community. So I feel like it's fine. You don't need it. If you want to have your room dark and then consider yourself a shadow person because of it, then that's fine. That's fine. But
that just gives off creepy serial killer.
No. In the co-host world, for sure it doesn't. It just kills the backward. It looks like you have a green screen. But it has been tough, and it's been tough outside. But I always start remembering why. And technically, we go out right before when we used to go to regionals. And then even though Del Mar for us was never outside, I would always put the kids outside. But most athletes too, at some point, as they get closer to when people say sports specific training, I always love it when I hear about an unstable surface or all kinds of shenanigans, but I never hear them just lifting weights or training outside. So, which is very easily sports specific. So to be in the sun requires a lot, and something that I've seen a lot of benefits from, but it also takes a little while to get accustomed to, is there's a lot more energy, right? So being outside, there's a benefit to an additional amount of energy in your body. Physiologically, it just immediately increases. It's really hard to be lazy when you're outside and it's sunny and it's hot. So I know it's like sometimes a drag, you got to spray suntan on you, and like the smell of it when you're working out, it's a little bit different. But specifically, I've always noticed, and athletes I've worked with and people that I've worked with, my members and just everybody in general, it's hard to just be like, oh, bummer, dude, when you're outside in the sun. So that's kind of the nice thing. And then you actually do increase energy in the sense of your body. If you notice it, it's like, plus it's warmer. It's way easier to warm up. It's easier to stay positive. The amount of increased vitamin D too that we're all getting. Some of us, like I know for me, especially working outside all day, I wasn't accustomed to it. I got a little sick just from the amount of sun at the end of last week. Like it just got me just from those last couple of days. And so and I was using sunblock. I even started using my sun hat and all that stuff. But just being out there wears on you. But I do feel very good. I've been feeling very good in the last training cycles, even through the quarantine, doing the dumbbell, doing everything very specifically only with the dumbbell, to where now I'm actually lifting. I'm feeling very well. I'm feeling good. And more so going outside, I've started noticing that even with not really, I mean, I eat well all day long. I just don't eat well at night. Obviously, I have a snacking problem. That's why we're all here. So, but it does give you a lot of increased vitamin D. It also strengthens your immunity by being outside, obviously, through the vitamin D. Getting outside will allow for your respiratory system to get a little stronger. I mean, yes, being inside can help, but I've never been a big fan of the AC, and even so more now. But more so with the being cold, it's harder to get the joints to be able to produce, and then you might have to use like knee sleeves, things of that nature. Whereas right now, outside in the heat, you don't really need that. But strengthening the immunity through, again, being outside, just adding that extra cardiovascular piece outside. Also reducing blood pressure, improve sleep through the energy expenditure, as well as the increased health benefits. Healthy blood glucose levels go up. Physiological benefits. So not only did you get all that other kind of body benefits, but I mean the whole process of the going outside, even for the athletes, was mostly to allow for them to get accustomed to the sun, the wear and tear of like getting your body a little tougher. I don't know if you guys are botanists or if you like to grow plants or anything like that, but if you blow fans on them or if you kind of work them a little bit, they get a little bit more dense and they're a little bit more deep rooted. So going outside kind of helps with that. And then reducing anxiety levels. I don't know if that's so much true for someone coaching outside so much, but no, I've enjoyed it too. I noticed that even going outside and seeing you guys work out there and being there, getting the equipment out there kind of sucks for all of us, but all in all, it will reduce the anxiety level for being, and it'll also create a heightened sense of awareness because you got a lot more stuff around you now while you're working out. So you're going to have to be a little bit more vigilant, and it'll allow for a little more creative thinking. And that's where you'll get a little bit better at reducing the mental fatigue and as well as depression by being outside. So there's a shitload of benefits. There's an ish load of benefits. So we have to really kind of think about the positives in that. And I know that I'm going through it, and so therefore I started looking at it, and I mean there was a list, and I was like, wow. And I never realized that we were getting such high benefits from it. I knew we were getting some of these, and I knew that I was very into training outside 2 to 3 months out of the year, but now I'm like, wow, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. So I have a very, very, very good question here. It was on our Ask Coach Max here. Let's think about this question here because it's deep. So similar to certain diets like the keto and getting into ketosis, is the same true for programming. So, for example, being in a strength phase, can my body still be in a hypertrophy or power phase? If so, how do I know and how do I correct it? Great question. In a diet, it's kind of easy to see the goal. So in keto specifically, I'm trying to get into that ketosis. So I might even get feedback like my breath or other type like low blood sugar, things of that nature. But in programming, you're not going to really see it unless you're going from phase to phase. And most programming is done linearly. Even if you are doing endurance, hypertrophy, strength, and power, and you start adding in these other like hybrid forms like a power endurance or strength hypertrophy, which is lower numbers, still maybe with a tempo or still high volume. it's still more in that linear progression, especially for athletes. And I know that I program like that to where I'm going to look to cyclically program to the year. And if I was programming for an athlete, I would cyclically program for their most important competition or their peak of the year. So when we're looking at that, I'm trying to get their greatest output in the gym or in their physical fitness through a power phase. So that would be output in, lifting, sprinting, things like that. But then you have something interesting with a CrossFit athlete where they need to also be have long distance. And so you still got to be able to be peaking at that moment, because that's kind of the importance. So that's where you get this like power endurance. But you're still going to go through these phases, right? You're still going to go through endurance, hypertrophy, strength, power. And that's how we're going to look at it, is those four coming across. The question was, how do I get out if I'm in one? And how do I know that I'm like stuck in one? Well, in a diet, the diet, you're eating, you're trying to get to that goal, or you're not, you're taking out carbs. In training, you're going to see it at the end, because in hypertrophy, it's a form of endurance, but it's also a form of strength, but it's a slower form of strength. So then when you go into strength training, you're not necessarily going to be feeling very, very strong, especially for maybe a 5x5, especially if in the hypertrophy phase, you only went down to 6s, and maybe you were doing 4x6 or 6x6. Or even a ladder down, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4 isn't going to feel the same as doing a 5x5 at 75, 80, 85%, especially that first transition. So just being aware more so that transitionally, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get into it. So for example, rowing athletes that I've worked with in the past, as they go into competition, going out of a hypertrophy phase, they feel real strong in a boat, but they don't really feel very conditioned. Or other athletes, like a CrossFit athlete, might feel bulky in their gymnastics. They might not feel as like crisp, because they might feel like they have a little extra lean body mass or gain. So that's where you have to recognize it. And it just happens transitionally. So into the phase, as you bleed into it, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you might feel real slow and sluggish coming out of that hypertrophy, going into strength. And then the next 3, 4, 6 week, however long that is, you're going to start really, really starting to feel strong. And then right as you're really feeling good and at the peak in that phase is a good time to move on. And that's how you actually decrease injury too. So the longer that you're in a phase, the better you get at it, the more the body starts to almost peak out if it's programmed correctly. But at the same time, the more likely it is to get injured because of the pattern overload. All right. Man, that was a great question. Okay. Sorry. Snack. Mike, the booty. Do you have like a yeah? I sent Mike my snack, and my snack was, in quotes, the booty. The pirate's booty. So this is 10 servings per container. Serving size is 1 ounce, 28 grams. It's not going to give me pieces. I mean, I would have to convert ounces into cups. All right, so this is 140 calories, 3 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs. Nah, that's not bad. But I want to know what 1 ounce looks like of this stuff. Because, I mean, this is air.
How many ounces is a bag?
Okay. Now we're talking, Mikey. It's 10 servings. Hold on.
Said 1 ounce is a serving, so 10 ounces.
Yeah. That's why when I looked over, I was like, I was all excited to find it. I mean, it's a big bag.
It's mostly air. Because that's the same size as a potato chip bag, and a potato chip bag is 18 ounces.
Yeah, it's totally. Do you ever watch Married with Children? I mean, is that bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
That show would not survive today's climate. In today's climate, that show would not survive at all.
No, right on out. No way.
You don't find it in syndication. You don't find it anywhere besides like late at night on TBS or something like that.
Are they still airing it?
Yeah, I saw it the other night.
Okay.
It was the episode where he was trying to get the perfect game in bowling, and he wouldn't change anything. Yeah, that was such a good one.
Yes, that one would suck me in if I saw that one. I was thinking about the weenie tots. Not that it would be the same thing, but I do feel like these things, if they're open to air for too long, they will
stale.
They'll evaporate. I don't know if they'll actually stay there. So, what is? Because you can't really. I'd have to weigh this out.
Yeah, technically, but you would say half the bag is full, so a tenth of half the bag.
So, like maybe a stripe.
No, less than half the stripe. Maybe half the stripe.
Maybe a handful is an ounce.
Oh, that's way more than an ounce.
I think I got more than 10 of these.
So let's say that's like 20 some odd pieces.
Yeah, maybe more. But I think I can get more than 10 out of that. Handfuls like that.
So 2. So we'll get 2 handfuls. 2 handfuls of Pirate's Booty aged cheddar popcorn.
Is 140 calories. That's quite a bit.
That's not bad. I mean, like you say, like 30 to 40 pieces is 140 calories. That's not bad. That's 2 to 3 calories of popcorn because it's cheese.
Yeah. But I was thinking about this. When you're getting a snack, is the goal of the snack to kill the sensation or to keep snacking?
It's mine's to kill the sensation. Like
right?
I'm trying to get rid of that hunger. Yeah.
That should be the goal. I mean, in theory, right? So if suddenly you're like wanting to snack and you snack, the whole purpose of it now is the value of its ability to not get the second serving. Right? Like, can I have one serving of this object and be like, because now I feel like we should categorize things as a 1 serving object or a 2 serving objects. And I understand that most snacks are like that, but if you eat something, you feel pretty full from it. You're like, oh, okay, that's good. No.
Or if it's like too rich, like I can't have like 3 pieces of triple chocolate cake. That'd be insane.
Right. I mean,
but I could eat that whole bag of popcorn.
I mean, who would have 3 pieces of triple chocolate shake?
Don't judge. That's another part of my life.
I do. I do it all the time. So yeah, we'll eat this whole thing if I'm not careful. Really, I bought this for Milo. So I didn't really know what it was. I actually bought it for him in the beginning when he was like younger, and he didn't like it. And so then I was like, "Ooh!" I got into it. It's buttery popcorn.
Buttery, cheesy popcorn.
But yes, I would say that you have lost your top fan tag. I would say. Thank you, my girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. So, Mikey, let's get a little upset here. Let's rant a little bit. So,
Yeah.
my biggest thing that I've been seeing lately is this big self-sabotaging mistakes, right? And one of the biggest things that I see is when people specifically change too often, too much, and they don't really allow for things to develop, right? And not necessarily people that come into contact with us, most people that even try the gym, they stay. Even in the middle of a quarantine, if you show up, there's not really a lot showing up. We are open, we're outside, come on over. But if in that process you come in and you're going to stay because you realize you're going to get educated in that process, I find that it's in the beginning, it's about educating the individual about learning the data, taking in what they're getting from what they're working out, how they're going to get it. And I think people feel like we do a lot of varying, what's that? Stop changing. Oh yes. I was like, what am I changing, Mikey? What am I doing?
That's your bullet point.
Yeah, I know. But I was thinking the same thing. I was like, am I changing too much? But yeah, so stop specifically stop changing so much on their, that one got me, on their goal, right? So they come in and you got to educate them on, hey, we're going to go through these phases. We're going to go through this process. You're going to learn your body. You're going to try to look good naked in August, or at least that's going to be when you look your best or feel your best. And then, hey, we're going to try to gain weight through the winter because that's what we do. We eat real poorly. It's the holidays. And then as you're telling them this, you know, they hear a lot of different things about either CrossFit or the way that people train like that. And it's really like they think it's a bunch of different workouts and varying. It's not, it's a structure of gymnastics and weightlifting and whatever. And the way we do it is we do follow.com. We look at it and then we also build upon it, right? So we have a idea to the year and to our community and to our online community, and also just to the development of athleticism. That's probably what drives our program more than anything else, year in, year out. So this being said, is that I see people that are on the outside and they're constantly changing, right? And that's one of the biggest things that made me want to drive this content battle, this idea of talking more and being online more, is really this topic alone, is the amount of change that people do, the amount of inability to allow for something to develop. Because imagine that, I remember reading a Russian manual that was translated for us, but it was translated poorly. And the way he translated it, it kind of read like, I think it was like 10 by 10. Basically, we were doing a real heavy squat for 60 seconds. And I just remember it being so bad, and then reaching out to the guy and asking him, hey, was this written correctly? And then him saying, no, actually, that's a typo. And then me being like, oh, fuck. So I'm trying not to cuss, but I mean, that was a rough situation. Shoot, can you beep that out when we edit this later? Go. So that was a real rough situation, but I had already been in it. I had done like, I think it was a week and a half or 2 weeks. And so I said, it was a 6-week phase. And I'm going to swallow the bullet. I'm going to see what happens, see what gains I get from it, see what really happens to my nervous system, see what happens to me. And I had to diminish some other things in the process to ensure that I was still hitting those squat numbers and in that tempo. But, my torso got stronger. I got stronger, of course. I would not have people do it the same way that I read it, but I made sure that I stayed the same. I didn't change. I stayed the course so that way I could get that kind of data and then understand the benefits and then kind of the pros and cons of what I got from it. So when I see people constantly change, I just don't see it. And the more that we're able to almost start off slowly, so not changing too much stuff at one time, we can almost see what the problem is too. So for me specifically, okay, hey, Max, you're drinking 3 times a week. You got 2 to 3 beers at night. Okay, well, let's take those down to 1 time. All right, you've already dropped some weight from that. Let's keep addressing small problems. Okay, snacking at night. Can you just snack the stuff that you do on the show? And then no more afterwards. Oof, that's kind of a tough one. Okay, well, now you're going to have that kind of mental battle. So that's going to be my focus on the process. I'm not going to change my whole diet. I'm not going to change my snacking. I'm not going to change my workout. I'm not going to. So those variables, when you're changing so much, it's just 1, it's too much chaos in the life. And then 2, you don't really know what's affecting your body and what's not. So be careful with the amount of change you make in the beginning or at any time in your athleticism. Make minimal amount of change. I mean, we were talking about it today with Christian, one of my athletes, in regards to the snatch and the grip. And I was talking about how I moved from the outside knurling mark. I moved myself a thumb and a knuckle off of that. And it took me somewhere around like 3 to 4 years because I would move it every year. I'd move it barely any and then train through it for a couple cycles and then train through it for a couple cycles and then really develop my ability to get strong in the process so I wouldn't injure myself. So I don't really know a lot of people that would be willing to do that. And those that are, I find them at the higher level. So change less, be specific, less is more. So remember that. Less for longer is greater than. All right. Mikey, you got me with that tag, man. You got me. I even had to look and I was like, is he telling me that privately or is he telling me that like in front of, like, is everybody like, hello?
No, I would tell you on the mic.
I know. But it got me. That was so good. So good. Okay. Today's workout. Oof. What a doozy.
Oh, let's not talk about this one.
Oh, what a doozy.
Oh, it's terrible.
What a doozy.
If you guys didn't know what the workout was today, or if you didn't join us today out in the hot desert sun here, we had 3 rounds for time of a 400-meter run, short style to the stop sign and back, 21 burpees, and then 12 squat snatches at 95, 65. Did you change this up, or was RX plus 115?
135.
135 was RX plus. Okay.
RX was 115.
Yeah, pretty heavy. It may look easy on paper, but when it comes down to it, there is not one single spot where you can actually get your heart rate to slow down, because by the time you get back from the run, it just jumps right back up with the burpees. And then with that conditional movement, that 12 squat snatches where we couldn't do less than 3, just hanging onto the bar is just a little rough. I mean, you can just look at the averages here. We got 1641. Even the modified was a little bit longer. And for the women, not too far behind the men, or in front of the men, actually, 1626. But the modified version went a little slower by 2 minutes there. But we had some pretty good scores. Purcern at 115 got 1236. That's pretty fast, moving that bar. Tyler, 95 pounds, got 1417. Emily Nelson over here with the RX at 65 for 1351. Lil's here with 1436. Giselle, 1955. I was being a slug today.
Oh man,
well,
Sport 7 p.m. is not running the COVID 400. They're running the normal 400. You didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo a long time ago.
No, apparently not. Not.
Oh man, that was like a month ago that you changed that.
Mhm.
Anyway, we have little Wes here hitting 55 pounds. She's slowly getting stronger there, just inching on up on the barbell movements. Mary DePaoli with 17.5. I mean, what would you say? Like going around that corner would add what? Maybe like 5 seconds to the run? 5-10
No,
seconds?
probably longer, yeah. Especially to that stop sign, that zigzag.
And then turn around.
Yeah, but what did she use for her weight? What did Mary use for her weight?
Mary used 55.
I like that. Were you
Right
able
on
to
there.
do 3s and 4s? I bet you they didn't get told either two to hold on to it. But she probably hold on to it.
Yeah.
Mary, did you hold on to it? You out there? Since you were on
She'll get back to it. She'll get back to us. Ooh, Crenshaw over here. Let's see what he has.
Yeah.
Crenshaw with 75 pounds. Okay. Squat snatch, 15:30. Matt Chandler here, 20:35. And then Randy Stuck. Not Stuck, Stuck. That's how you say his last name. 75 pounds there on the squat snatch. Some pretty good numbers, but it was pretty miserable out there in the sun.
Yeah, dude, it was rough. I think the workout alone was really, really rough. What was your
Mary said yes. She held on for 3s and 4s.
nice? I think the rep scheme was nice. I think you would really need to do that anyways. I mean, you might have to move to singles, but if you get somebody that has a really fast burpee and a really fast run, I mean, if they're doing singles and they're holding on to a couple here and there, even if they're doing singles all the way through, I don't think you catch them. I mean, you're gonna have to see them somewhere else.
Yeah. Also, you've been really like on the Helen vibes here. This is another Helen variation.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember one time there was like a double Helen. I mean, a bunch of Murphs. So I mean, it's not like it's not like the weekend ever starts off fairly fun. Like, I mean, they're pretty rough, pretty quick to these kids, and I mean, I like the Monday for that. And our Monday, it all stemmed from the last phase from when we did was it Girls Monday? We were doing Girl Wad
All the
Monday.
girls on them.
And
And
then
then
it turned into FU Monday. Focus up. Focus up. That's what it is in this phase. And it's a bummer we didn't get to, like, our community didn't get the snatch from the ground online. That's why I kept posting. I wanted to keep posting the snatches and stuff for you guys to keep snatching online. So, okay. Well, where's my, yeah.
sad trombone.
Yeah, man. I like the 5. I did 6 and 6. It was a little tough. Got that heart rate real spiked. Kind of wobbled off on that run. Got on the runner, and then I went to 5, 5, 4, 3. I kind of liked better. It was a little smoother, but
I ascended my ladder. I went 3 sets of 4, 2 sets of 6, and then 1 unbroken set of 12.
oh, you sandbagging son of a bitch!
I was like, I am not letting go of this bar.
Sandbagging son of a bitch. I wish I could have not let go of the bar. I saw a few guys go unbroken at the end or in the work somewhere at some point in there. At some point, I jumped out of that right away. 6 and 6. I was like, yeah, 1 round, 12. Like this. It was good though. It was good.
Hanging on.
Oh man. So tomorrow, in closing, let's talk about a few ways to activate your flow state. So a few ways to trigger your flow state specifically is to think about ways to eliminate external and internal distractions. And I know that eliminating that type of stuff sometimes can be extremely difficult. One thing you should focus on, and by doing this, is by allowing yourself to have 10 to 15 minutes of true focus state into getting into your work. So as you start to get into uninterrupted work, it's extremely important to be able to hunker down. And the first 10 to 15 minutes of your ability to focus is going to be the determining factor of the length and how well you do inside that flow state. Outside of that, if you are distracted or you're like broken, like someone comes in and creates an external distraction and it's not really like a timeout that you had planned for, it will immediately create a problem where it might take you somewhere up to 25, 30 minutes to get back into that flow state. So being able to avoid those distractions are pretty key, especially if you want to get deep inside of this kind of almost transcendental or this crushing it type of work state. Or same thing with athleticism or anything you're trying to do. The other thing too, and I know athleticism might say that like, well, there's a bunch of stuff outside, but if you allow yourself to have 10, 15 minutes of non-distracted and you know the moment that you're going to get on a field and it's going to start creating the distraction, it's different than if it's interrupted out of the blue. So creating your points along the way. And then how to eliminate internal distraction is one of the biggest things. And I used to, and I still do, I make fun of this all the time. And I say, dear diary, but journaling in the morning, journaling at night is a great way to reduce the amount of stress that you're getting, and also to allow yourself to get rid of a lot of that internal distractions. The one that I would recommend more than anything else is daily meditation. And I can handle somewhere around 10 minutes right now, fairly easy. I just can't find more time in the day. But if you really want to get that really, really sharp, being able to find 20 to 60 minutes of meditation twice a day, your mental state and your mental focus, it gets out of control. It's crazy what it can do. So daily meditation of 10 to 15 minutes whenever is crucial to allowing you to get rid of internal distractions and to create a little bit more mental focus. And those are really easy steps that you can take to create a little bit of active flow state whenever you want. And you can train it as well. So just be aware of that. And, you can do with what you will with it. I know I'm a big fan of it. I would get out there and do it. And yeah, Rachel.
Now I know what it's like to work out on the surface of the sun.
Oh, man.
That rubber gets hot. I tell people all the time.
That's nothing. Wait till September. And it's like dry heat, or the end of August is going to be awful.
Terrible. Just hot all the way through. Just gonna have to sprinkle that blacktop with some water.
We're gonna get those misters. Oh man!
I sprayed the disinfectant on the thing. It just instantly evaporated. Just
yeah, like on the way down. On the way down, yeah.
Doesn't even touch it. It just go.
No, nothing's growing out here. Nothing's growing out here. It's so hot. So, thank you, Mikey. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. Great job today. Oof, tomorrow. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. We'll see. We'll see.
I'll see you guys in the morning, guys. I'm coaching in the morning.
I'll be there with you. Maybe not. I'll be there.